this comment right here, well, maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, but it's very reflective of some of the sentiments that you hear and see on YouTube and other social media platforms regarding the black community and particularly black women. It sounds a lot like some of the things that the so-called black women bashers say. Basically, a lot of these guys who say negative things about black women, it's almost like they're generalizing and saying that these things apply to all or most black women, namely that black women like thugs, and also that black women are whores, and that they have children out of wedlock with men who are no good and irresponsible. And I think that that is partly true, but it doesn't apply to all, and I don't even believe most black women. It applies to a certain type of black woman. There's a common thread amongst these black men who like to spread negative propaganda against black women, and that is that these people don't seem to realize, or maybe they're in denial about the fact that some of these women who do have children out of wedlock, or bring up children as a single mother, have been tricked by so-called good black men. They've been lied to, deceived, and duped. And these guys, unfortunately, many of these women go in thinking that they're getting involved getting in a relationship with a man who wants to be committed to them long term, and then it turns out that all he was interested in was sex, and he ends up leaving her. And in some cases, this happens even with married couples. I don't buy into this bullshit about black women being responsible for all the ills and the failures of the black community. And this seems to be a way of black men and black males circumventing their responsibilities towards their children and their part in the failures of the black community. Yes, I agree that black women should be more vigilant and careful about who they sleep with, but that also goes for black men too. Black men need to be better stewards of their penises and their semen. If you don't want to have children, then protect yourself. Practice safe sex. Simple as that. Don't screw every woman that opens herself up to you, because it's like a numbers game. The more women that you have sex with, the greater the possibility of you ending up fathering a child. Basic biology and basic statistics and math. Yeah, you might be able to get away with it for a while, but eventually all these women you're screwing is going to result in an unwanted pregnancy. I'm going to use a phrase that a lot of these black men like to use towards black women. Choose better. Why are you laying down and having sex with some of these women that you claim are crazy and ratchet? Didn't you know these things about her? Didn't you know about her character before you chose to lay down and have sex with her? If you did and you still chose to lay down with her, then that says a lot about you. You obviously not you personally, the man who wrote the blog post, but I'm saying that the men who think this way, it says that you're an immature and irresponsible person, and that you don't want to be held accountable for your mistakes. If the woman turns up pregnant, then your default response is to blame her for being pregnant. Sorry, but that's not how the world works. It takes two. It takes a sperm and an egg to conceive a child. And I know that a lot of these men are not responsible for what individuals decide to do with their bodies and their choices in their reproductive and choices as far as relationships and family go. But since many of them are so concerned about what's going on with the black community and what a woman chooses to do with her womb and her body, whether she decides to have a child or not out of wedlock, I'm going to make a suggestion. Instead of focusing your energies on what the woman is doing, why not focus your energies on teaching these young black males to stop slinging dick all over the place? Why not teach them to be better stewards of their semen and of their penises? Teach them to be more responsible. If that were to happen, a lot of these men would have fewer concerns about, the out of wedlock birth rate in the black community. Teach these guys to be responsible and to step up to the plate and be men and stop abandoning your children. And what is this nonsense that I'm hearing in forums and sometimes in the comment section of YouTube videos about, quote, broke bitches ask for child support, unquote? Sounds to me like you pissed off because your baby mama is making you step up to the plate and take care of your financial responsibilities to your child. If you knew that she was broke and couldn't afford to care for a child or provide for that child financially, and if you knew that you also weren't in a position financially to take care of a child, then why did you lay down and have sex with this woman? Obviously, you did it because the only thing you were thinking about in that moment was getting some pussy and coming, busting your nut. And you weren't banking on the fact and the possibility that this woman could become pregnant. So, for these dudes to make those types of comments and statements, it just makes them look and sound so goddamn lame. And it just goes to show you the fuckery and the foolishness that goes on in the minds of some of these young black people, and sometimes even older black people. But I digress. Now, when I recorded these videos, the video was about one particular family member. It was just a way for me to express my disappointment with this particular family member. And it wasn't intended in any way for me to pass judgment on her, because all young people go through something. It's a learning process and an experience that hopefully she'll take something out of. It wasn't about me slamming her, putting her down, and relegating her to being a failure for the rest of her life. Just me being disappointed because she did not follow the counsel of people who were trying to help her and give her advice and save her the heartache and stress of being a single mother. Anyway, this person who left this comment, and I didn't intend for this to be about race, but this person who made the comment made it into a race thing, because he or she or whoever, I suspect that it was a black man, a black person who left the comment, but they put the phrase "black women, please," and that's what made it to be about race in their minds. So I didn't intend for these videos to be anything about race, because quite frankly, I'm trying to stay out of the black sector of YouTube because it's extremely toxic. I mean, there is no solidarity, or very little solidarity, between black men and black women in social media and even in real life. And I don't want to be a part of that crap. And the people who are spreading all this propaganda, there are some positive people on YouTube, positive black people on YouTube, but they're very far and few in between. I would say that probably about 80% of them are negative, and their whole channels are geared towards creating disunity and divisiveness and, division between black men and black women. And I just think that this whole fucking gender war, black gender war, is so stupid. they're not doing anything but playing into the hands of the powers that be, because the powers that be, you think they want us to be unified as a race? Hell fucking no. They want us to continue being at odds with each other and being at the bottom of the totem pole, both socially and economically. So they're just playing into the hands of white supremacy and, the white male dominated elitist and establishment. And, like I said, I don't want to be a part of this whole toxicity within the black community in real life and in social media. So that's why I make my videos mostly, giving my opinion and perspectives and commentary about things that have happened in my life, and, maybe about family members and different things, observations that I've made in my life. So anyway, there are some things that I agree with with this person's comment, but then there's other things that I disagree with. And it just, maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into this comment, but the fact that he or she said black women, it just makes me inclined to believe that this person may be reflecting some of the rhetoric and sentiments of these so-called black women bashers here on YouTube and on social media.